We felt the cold and wind of winter here in Lincoln this week, and in Scotts Bluff, wind gusts at the summit of Scotts Bluff National Monument topped 100 miles per hour. Here to forecast the last full week of the month is UNL Extension statewide climatologist Al Dutcher.
Well, folks, here we are again on Friday morning. Of course, the big news has been this brunt of cold air that moved in through the northern plains and really moved into our region the last couple of days, and we've seen temperatures that responded down to the downside. Very windy conditions, a little bit of light snow, but overall we haven't seen much in the way of significant moisture. The most significant moisture of this last week, of course, was on Monday evening as a little system moved across southern Nebraska, dropped light snowfall with the most generous precipitation in the extreme southeastern corner of the state, 2 to 4 inches, but for most everybody else less than an inch. In a lot of locations, especially north of the I-80 corridor, we didn't really see anything except for a few flurries. The brutal cold up in the Dakotas has us concerned in regards to the wheat crop, as we have not seen temperatures get above about 5 to 10 degrees with lows into the minus 15 to minus 20 degree range, and our soil temperatures up in that region have dropped down into the single digits in some locations, so there's possibility that we'll see some damage to some of the hard winter wheat crop because of the lack of snow cover. For us, we are going to have a very challenging forecast over this next 7-day period, as there are several waves that are expected to move through, and timing is going to be very, very difficult. So this may be a blown forecast, but we're going to give it a shot. As we go to the upper air models, we'll see what's going on. The first thing is that the cold air still remains in place over the north of us, and to the south of us, the warmer air is basically to our southwest. So we're kind of caught between these two systems, and the system is expected to move across the Dakotas today, dropping anywhere from 2 to 4 inches across southwestern South Dakota, and then clip possibly extreme northeastern Nebraska with some flurry activity. So the temperatures are likely to be in the lower 20s across extreme northeastern Nebraska. As you get to southwestern Nebraska, we may be looking at the low 40s as the warmth starts to build in, especially for tomorrow. And you can see this ridging pattern as this big trough drives down to the western United States. It's going to bubble up some warmer air into our region, so we could possibly be in the mid-30s across extreme northeastern Nebraska. And as we go toward the southwest and western Nebraska, 40s to possibly even low 50s if we get enough warming at the surface. Now, as we go into Sunday, we see that system quickly moves through, and we have the potential to generate some significant moisture to the south of us and possibly some accumulating snowfall, particularly in the Sunday through Sunday night time frame. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll be looking at highs initially in the upper 30s to the lower 40s across the southeast. And as the temperatures cool overnight, we might see some accumulating snowfall. On Monday, that system rapidly moves toward the Great Lakes. We'll be looking at highs in the mid-20s northeast to the upper 40s west as another system tries to make its way in here, and that system is poised to start moving in sometime in the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. So we could see some fairly nice temperatures as we get into Tuesday. We're looking at the low 40s northwest to possibly the upper 40s southeast. And as we get into Wednesday, you can see that there is some moisture coming in, possibly targeting southeast Nebraska. We're looking at highs in the low 40s east to possibly the upper 40s west. And as we get into Thursday, the ridge starts to rebuild back in, and we see a relief of the temperatures. We're looking at highs in the upper 40s, possibly northeast Nebraska, to the upper 50s, if this indeed is a correct forecast for western Nebraska. And as we get the 8 to 14-day forecast, I do not believe this 1 second. They're showing above normal temperatures. There is some cold air starting to move in toward the end of the month, so this may be a blown forecast. And in terms of precipitation, the dry trend does look to continue temporarily, but remember, there's a big storm coming down the pipeline.